everybody. We are back today with the lovely Miriam. Hello, Miriam. Miriam is Starconnections.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be back again. Hi, Karen. Good to hear you again and to see you.
How's Holland?
It's actually quite a warm winter, I must say. A bit strange, not cold.
Well, first day of lockdown. The skies are blue here.
Oh God, so I can't go outside.
Thank you for joining me on the first day of lockdown.
Oh, totally ridiculous. It's absolutely so pathetic, this
I
lockdown.
agree. Absolutely ridiculous, and I just can't wait till they get found out. Personally,
Yeah. Okay, I've put something together for you because there's a lot of confusion about the tropical and the sidereal zodiac. So I made some kind of a little presentation, so it's easy to explain with visuals.
Sure.
Because a lot of people, they think they have hooked up onto this idea that the tropical zodiac is wrong and the sidereal is right. Well, they're both right and neither is wrong. It is just you need to know what it is that you're looking at. So I put it together and
Oh, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, because it was quite some work to get it together because my computer crashed and then all my programs were gone and all my files were gone and it was
It's
like
so annoying, isn't it? Because your whole thing is on a web page, so it's pretty annoying for you with your computer crashing.
yeah, everything was gone. But now it's all back again. And well, then I got new RAM for my computer and it didn't work. So then also like again a setback. But anyway, I'm back here.
We are here now.
And I'm going to screen share.
Sure.
And then I'm going to go oh, let me see, this one must go. Help. Oh, wait, there, share.
Hey, she's there. Well done.
Okay, we're back. I'm sorry about that. It took a bit of time. Oh, I need to take the sound. Can you hear the sound of it?
No.
Okay, then I switch off the sound there, then I can talk over it.
All right, there you go then.
Okay, so this is the zodiac as we know it, the tropical. The constellations that we know as our birth signs, the way it is being taken on as how they are. Now, this is the image of the tropical and the sidereal zodiac around each other. The outer ring is the sidereal and the inner is the tropical. And you can see Leo is the rising of the tropical and Cancer is the rising of the sidereal. And the outer ring is actually what you see in the sky. And I will explain you why the tropical zodiac is right. And you can see that the constellation of Cancer is a tiny one and Leo goes all over Cancer as well. Pisces here is going over 3 of the sections. Each section is 30 degrees. So they're all very odd in size and they're not exact 30 degrees. They were only decided in a certain time that these constellations were what they are now. And that is what makes it confusing. Okay, so if we take this veil away, then what we get are 4 colors and 3 directions. I'm here. You are screen sharing, yes.
At the moment, it's just the Hangout.
Oh gosh.
Put the Hangout down.
Like that.
I
Hide.
don't. That's it. We're there now. I see it. I see it now.
Okay, so I'm back here. I hope it didn't go on the URL from the Hangout. I did show that a bit, I think. Okay, I'll go further.
No, don't worry about that. We're on a private one. It doesn't matter.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is the 21st of March. That is the early morning in the northern hemisphere, and you can see that the sun comes up at the exact eastern horizon, and that is what we know as the spring equinox. And that is, as you can see, the sun is here in Pisces and not in Aries. So that's where the confusion comes in, where you think, yeah, but it is 0 point Aries, but it is in Pisces. Okay, then if we got to take the constellations out of the equation when we look at the tropical zodiac, because that is based on the seasons. So this is the say what we would refer to as the 0 Aries point, but it is a cardinal fire time. We get on 30 days of cardinal fire. It's an expanding, outward going energy that is ruled by the god Mars, or the planet Mars is there in its rulership. Then we get a fixed earth time, and that is an inward going energy, and that is ruled by the goddess Venus. She rules over this period in time. And then we get mutable air, which we know as Gemini, but it is a mutable air period, and air is for the mental things, and mutable is an in and outward going energy, and that is ruled by the god Mercury. This is Mercury's time. Then we get the summer equinox. It's the 21st of June, early morning, and then you can see that the sun comes up most towards the northern part of the eastern horizon. And that is the most north that the sun will travel in the morning when it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is here in Gemini, and it is not in Cancer, as we would think it should be in Cancer. That's where the Sidereal say, yeah, that is right, but we are looking at something completely different, and we got to take the elements in account. It is a water time, a cardinal expanding water period. It's not that it is raining much then, but it is connected to the emotions and the feelings, and it is ruled by the moon. This period is the time of the moon. Then we get fixed air, that is again an inward going energy. Fixed, and that is ruled by the sun. This is Amaterasu. It's the sun goddess. You can also put Apollo there, but I like Amaterasu. No, it's a fixed air. Then we get mutable air, earth, sorry, and that is again in and outward going energy, ruled by Mercury. It's a time that we know of as being Virgo, but it is not that the sun is in Virgo, but this mutable earth period describes the qualities of Virgo, but it has nothing to do actually with the constellation. Then we get autumn, and that is when the 23rd of September. That is when the sun comes up again at the exact same eastern point of the horizon. And it is supposed to be in Libra, but it is not. It is in Virgo. So that is confusing, because when you look up in the sky, you see that the constellations don't, you know, the planet is not in that constellation, as we say. No, these are the 30 degrees, 12 sections of 30 degrees around us. And this is again a Cardinal Air sign. And that is an expanding energy, and it is ruled by Venus. And that is what we know of as being Libra, but it is not Libra. It describes the qualities of Libra. Then we get fixed water, again inward going energy, and that is ruled by the god Mars. And then we get Cardinal Fire, and that is, Mutable Fire, the in and outward going energy, and that's ruled by Jupiter. Cardinal Fire is the Aries, ruled by Mars in the spring, and this is Jupiter. Then we get winter solstice, the 21st of December, and that is when the sun comes up at the most southern point of the eastern horizon. It won't go more towards the south than this. And it is supposed to be in Capricorn, but it is not. It is in Sagittarius, in the constellation. But you know, who is to say what these constellations are? There were also only the stars were also just attached to each other in some constellations at a certain time, a certain culture. Other cultures might have attached these stars in a different constellation. So this is sky. As you can see, the sun is in Sagittarius and not in Capricorn. Capricorn is here. But it is the cardinal earth sign, the expanding earth element or energy. And that is ruled by outward going energy. That's ruled by Saturn. It is the time of Saturn. It's the winter. And it is the winter solstice. Then we get fixed air. Fixed air, that is the inward going energy again. So you see there are 12 different qualities. So you have the elements and the modes, 12 different combinations. And this is also ruled by Saturn. That's the time that we know as being Aquarius. And then we get the mutable water, the in and outward going energy of the emotions, creative energy, and that's ruled by Jupiter. And then here you see the planets or the gods within their rulership, and that's a beautiful balanced system. So you see here the sun and the moon, they're in these, oh, it's gone. I can go back a little. Let me just put that here. So it's balanced. So the sun and the moon, they are in Cancer and Leo, or the cardinal water and the fixed fire. And then you get Mercury on either side, then you get Venus, you get Mars on that side, Jupiter, and Saturn is opposing the luminaries. So that's also quite interesting as a philosophical concept, that Saturn opposes the luminaries, but that's a different subject, it's a different thing. And then here's an image that you'll see where the gods are exalted. The planets are the gods, So Mars is exalted in Capricorn, Venus in Pisces, the Sun in Aries, the Moon in Taurus, Jupiter in Cancer, and Mercury in Virgo, and Saturn in Libra. And then what you see here, this is the Egyptian terms. I'll stop it here. And you can see there are very odd different degrees. So here you have 6 degrees. That's the section of Jupiter. And then you get another 6, that is Venus. And then you get, I think it's 8. And they're all different. There's no pattern that repeats itself in that way. It is very, very odd. But this is the Egyptian terms. And they're like the managers of these sections. Like you have the rulers of the houses. So Mars is the ruler of this section, Venus is the ruler of this section, and so on. And then you have these degrees. That is where here is Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and so on and on. So they have also very significant quality within that section. So if you would take then the Sidereal Zodiac, then you get a complete different story, which, you know, in the Indian astrology is a whole different system that you're using. Okay, so that is this. And there we are again. Oops. No.
That's the hangout.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
I want to, how do I make it big again? Full screen. Yes. Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, I hope that is quite clear what it is that you're looking at with the...
Okay, we're looking at the hangout now.
Yeah. But...
You've got me on 3 times now. I see you're back now. Right, so, yeah, so why is there all this confusion then? Why is it that some use one, some use the other, although some say that you have to use both of them, or you have to go down the middle or something? You have to work it out using both of them.
Well, I use the fixed stars separately from the zodiac. If I just described it as well in my first astrological website, where, for instance, Regulus, the fixed star Regulus, that is considered to be in Leo.
Do you want to stop screen sharing, or?
Yeah. How?
Because we have your icon back. That's it. We get your icon back when you don't screen share.
Stop screen sharing. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm on 3 times. That's it. You're back now.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I've got my camera on. No, that is fine. So yeah, the fixed stars, they move 1 degree in the 72 years. So you keep an eye on the fixed stars where they are, but the constellations, they were attached, like, I don't know when. It's hard to say that it is like 2000 years ago, because the whole time frame is totally fucked around with. But say, for instance, spring, the Cardinal Fire time, that's an Aries energy. But that constellation that was in the time that that constellation was attached to Aries, all these constellations were somehow fitting, but that has moved. So in that way, yes, that's you can't say that constellation is now exactly that sign. You have to look at the element and its direction. The elements, they have a different quality, like earth stands for tangible things. The fire signs, or the fire elements, they stand for the initiating, the movement, the going for things. Um,
Can I ask you then, why is there two? I think astrology is difficult enough to understand as it is. I mean, everybody can get their basic bit. I mean, I
I
can.
think
I
I
have.
think you
But
know
to understand astrology more, it takes years. And then we've got two.
it's not really two, because the Indian astrology is actually packed with Hellenistic elements. So I think in the time when Alexander the Great was moving to India, and when you had all the trade routes and everything, of course the Indians, they had their own system of astrology, but they have different seasons. They have like six seasons or something. And when I was living in India, I lived in the south. Well, the summer is not much different from the winter, you know. So you don't have that distinguish difference between the summer and winter that you have here in the northern hemisphere, or in the north of Europe, for instance. Then the ancient Indian astrology was on leaves, and I think that is still being done. But a lot of the concepts there are from the Hellenistic. Now, Indians, they will not agree with that, but when I listen to the translators who have been doing all these absolute amazing work for the last few decades, I think now 3 decades, last 3 decades, that really old stuff has been translated, and they can trace where the origins come from. And that is also that in the year 600, 700, all the astrological knowledge disappeared into Arabic as some sort of going underground. So a lot of the information is being preserved in Arabic texts, and that is still ongoing translation. So that is very interesting. But you got to understand, first of all, an astrologer is first a philosopher and then a mathematician. So you got to understand all these elements, and the whole of astrology is based on philosophical ideas. And something that I've also always would like to know, how did they get these elements? Why is this time this specific element, and why is it this?
That's why we come to you, because we want you to tell us.
Yeah. I don't think there's anyone that that knows that. I've been listening to the translators, that when there's again a new book come out, and when this subject comes up, it's also still up for debate. And the one says it is this, and the other says it's that, but no one can exactly tell what the origin is of it. Now, I've gotten a whole different idea about astrology, and say the Hellenistic astrology, that is like the ground foundation of what we have now in the West. It got completely watered down in the Renaissance and completely declined, and then in the early 19th century or late 19th century came back up again a little bit in a new age kind of form, with a lot of new attachments to it.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Each month you said there was like some of the energies going out, then the next month the energy's going in, the next month the energy's going out. Is that what people are struggling with, this constant change going on, or does that always happen?
That always happens. Yeah. It's like the yin and yang. Right. It's a dynamic kind of thing. And then it's also divided in male, female, male, female, male, female. And then you have the hot, cold, wet, and dry elements. So it is a whole combination of all sorts of different, how you say, different particles or compartment. Yeah, there's a lot that comes to it. But I think that astrology in its original form was not written down, and it was something of women. Also mathematics. If you take for instance, the Sri Lalita Sahasranama, it's quite a word. That is 1,000 names of the mother. That is a Sanskrit mantra. That's 1,000 names of the mother goddess. Then by the first verse, that is Om Sri Mata, and you get a little explanation. And there, Mata is she who measures all things. So mathematics is a feminine thing. So if you, and it is very logic. Because women, they have the menstrual cycle. And it's an 8 days moon. And then you take 13, 14 to be 10. How they calculate also in India. Now that's so and then being pregnant for months. It's a feminine thing, and I think as well, because I think humanity has been here for much longer than just a few thousand years. You know, it's like as women calculate, are much more connected to calculating.
The realm we live in.
Yeah, and calculating the days, and calculating when the baby will be born, and calculating when the next menstruation is, and calculating when your ovulation is, and all that sort of things. It's a practical thing. And then as well, you know, when the baby is born, okay, keep an eye on, you know, when you have cultures for thousands of years, then it's quite obvious when a child is born in this time of the month or this time of the year, it will behave like this and it will behave like that. That's what I think. That's my idea on it. And later, when the matriarch was being killed, and we got into a patriarchal time, men took over this knowledge as some sort of it's as if they were the inventors of this, and I don't think so. What was the name again of Alexander the Great's mother? Oh, not Olympia. Anyway, she was one of the last priestesses as well from that region in Macedonia, and a story goes that she was sold as a slave as well, but was married to this king, which was a common practice for these priestesses to be married out to as how you say
what, arranged
advisors,
marriages?
to be the advisors of the kings,
Right.
and all of that. But she kept her shackles on her wrists as a reminder that she would never ever be free again.
Right.
And that is also the symbol when you wear bracelets It's like somehow you want to be enslaved. That is the idea behind bracelets. It's quite striking if you think of that. I think it comes from that. But yeah, I think astrology was much more of a feminine thing. And also you need to have quite an intuitive thing. When I read a chart, I don't study a chart beforehand. I read a chart as I see it. But yeah, that comes after many years of practice, of course. And also the medieval astrology gave me that strong foundation of understanding how the mechanics work. So, oh, there's something else I would like to screen share.
Sure.
Let me go to share screen.
Full screen.
Yes, I know now how to do it. Need to go out there. Yeah, sorry. Oh, no, I need to go back there. I've got my website. Okay, I made a new thing on my website, and because someone donated PowerPoint to me. No, not PowerPoint. Photoshop. I made the little film in PowerPoint.
Right.
This, the calendar, the Void of Course moon calendar. That is so handy. I only did it in one time zone this time. And if people want me to do it in another time zone, I'll happily do that. But I'm not going to do it as in my first website where I did the whole year of 2016 in 18 different time zones with all the different kinds of summer times and etc. So, and then to find out it's only a handful of astrologers that really liked it. You can see the screen?
Yep, I can.
Okay. So here we see, this is November. We are here on the 5th. Today it's the 5th. Yes, that's right. So the moon is in a water sign. The moon is in Cancer. So here you can see in one blink of an eye in what element the moon is. It's a moon calendar. These beige parts are the void of courses, and they're every time different. There is no pattern on when there's a void of course. And the way I do it, I calculate it with only the classical 7 planets. So if you go to any site for void of course, and for instance, Pluto, Neptune, or Uranus is in one of the last degrees and is then making the last aspect with the moon, that void of course actually does not make any sense. And yeah, it's maybe a bit complicated to explain what the void of course is. I've got here on my website, here's a link to my old website, and here's another link to another website I made specifically on the void of course. It's with different articles from different people on the void of course, what it actually is and where you can use it for, because it's very handy for gardening, especially permaculture and stuff as well, and gardening by the moon, because the earth signs is good for leaves, for roots, sorry. Air signs is good for flowers, water signs is good for leaves, and the fire signs is good for seeds and fruits. So then a void of course time, you should not start anything new. That is why I didn't want to do yesterday the hangout, because we had scheduled right within the void of course, and I thought that's such a pity of that presentation that I made on the tropical and the sidereal zodiac. It won't be seen if we start under that. If you do something under the void of course, something new, it will not be seen, it will not get off the ground. It's the same with planting. If you plant something under a void of course, if you want to sprout a seed under a void of course, it will not really do well. Also for business, it's not handy to buy a book, for instance, or a piece of clothes during a void of course. It won't fit, you won't read the book, that sort of things. So yeah, and you can also feel like now the moon is in water, so we are much more in a feeling mode. And then Saturday the moon goes into Leo, into a fire sign. And then we get here the earth sign and air sign. So, and you can also download it. I put it in PDF, so you can put it on your desktop. And so you don't need to get back all the time to my website if you want to use this calendar. So I thought it would be nice for people also to know that. Yeah. And here, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh yeah, oh, okay. This link, that is different articles on the void of course, and it's quite nice. So these are all different articles I found on the internet that are quite good to read if you want to know more about the void of course. So I thought that was quite an interesting thing. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing. Stop. And then full screen. Yeah. All right, that was that. And it's yeah, if you want to get more in touch with the moon, that is what it is. What the void of course is when the moon has made its last aspect with one of the planets before it moves into the next section of 30 degrees. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I just felt a bit quiet.
You're taking it all in, I think. Yeah.
So there's explanations for people to understand that it doesn't matter which astrology you use.
No, it all works. And the funny thing is as well with the modern esoteric astrology, it seems to work as well. I don't like to use the outer planets. I don't think they exist. I don't believe in Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. And yeah, I think it is much more challenging as well to just stick to the traditional and not use these outer planets, because it's very, very easy to use these outer planets and to go off onto a tangent with, for instance, Pluto or Uranus, the rebel, you know, or Neptune, the dreamer, or the addictions, whatever, you know. I think they are part of social engineering. If you also see who discovered those planets and when and how, then I really have my suspicion that they do not exist. You there?
Sorry?
Yeah. No, I think that this is it. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? I think this is quite a lot of information to digest, I guess.
Well, we've been going for about 45 minutes. I don't know whether you want people on the Hangout to see this and then come back at a later date or just and talk about it, or whether you want to carry on and talk about it anyway a bit more. Because you're a very wise lady, you are, Miriam.
Well, I think this is quite a lot, and let it sink in, because I think that confusion with the tropical and the sidereal is very important. I get so yeah, to say frustrated actually when I hear people talk, oh yeah, no, the sidereal, you know, we should look only at the sidereal because the tropical is completely wrong. And that I think, no, it's not wrong. I know. It buggered me as well for a long time. I've put the whole of astrology aside because of that. I thought, oh, all these years I've been studying and I've been studying wrong. And no, you go back and study again and oh, hang on, it's a completely different thing. You know, it was only in that time of Pythagoras and Hephaestus that they attached these constellations to these 30 degrees sections. So it's, yeah. I think.
Anyway, do you know much about this? Do you look at the palm of your hands and see two M's on your palms?
Oh yeah. I know that.
You know what they could be though. Because you just mentioned it. If you looked at it a different way, they're not just M's; they could be threes.
Yeah, or the crosses in your hands. They're quite. If you have crosses in your hands, or if you're, how was it your when the heart line and not the lifeline, the heart line, the headline and the heart line are connected as well as one line. You're either a genius or a psychopath, something like that. I don't know. It's
not everybody has the
probably
M's
genius.
though. I thought probably empaths have the M's.
Oh, I don't know. You have the empathic lines as well. The Samaritan lines, they call them. And I think that is more something like.
Not everybody has them though, Miriam.
No. The hands, they tell a lot. And yeah, I've done it for a while, palm reading, but I get too much sucked into the psyche of the person. You know, it's like, whoa, you go right into it. It's easier for me to look at the chart because I can sit back and.
Do you want to explain just a tiny bit about who you are and your webpage then, so that people understand you know what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh, hi. I'm Miriam van Rijn. I've studied. I'm still studying astrology. It will never stop. I started in 1975, 76. I started then with studying astrology. And in 2000, I started with the medieval astrology. That was through the Project Hindsight in the 1990s. Had come out like that. And yeah, it's very different from the modern Western esoteric astrology. It goes into a depth, actually, the medieval astrology. So yeah, I can screen share again a little bit, maybe do that. Screen share.
Sure.
Up, I'll do that. I go here, share, and there's my website. Okay, oops, my website, Starconnections. You will find a lot of information on it. I think the last time that we did Hangout, I spoke about the cell salts, huh?
Did.
Yeah. So that's the physical and the astrology. So yeah, there is so much in here. It's like more of an education. I've got also a new page with services. And I work on donation base. Okay, I put some prices, but that's just a guideline because, you know, it's maybe easy for people to understand that. This is quite interesting. The personal angel name, that is beautiful. I don't know if I've actually finished that page. Not yet. Your angel name is a calculation of the planet of the planetary hour that you were born, the sun, the moon, and your ascendant, and you calculate them in a specific way. And each degree has a different sound, and you combine these sounds from these specific points in your chart, and that is your personal angel name, or maybe connected to your higher self or your soul. I don't know. It's beautiful. It's an old, very, very old ancient system. So that is there as well. Yeah, I don't know. The calendar, that is what I've done now. That is actually my first website, was only purely for this calendar, but then I figured out it's not many people know this. And so I had to make a separate website. That was this one, with the different articles that I could find on the Void of Course, what it actually is. Let me see the other links, my old websites. That is this one.
Right.
Astro Basic, I think, is there. Yeah, so there's a lot you can find. A lot of information. This is on the fixed stars as well. Yeah, so just navigate and you will find a lot of information. And I'm always available for questions or for chart readings and anything you want to know. And I can help you with. A little note on
You do people's birth charts as well?
Yeah, I do people's birth charts. Yeah, definitely.
Also, you're a bit more, I don't want to put it wrongly, because I don't want to put it wrongly, but you're more old-fashioned about it, aren't you? I don't mean that rudely. I mean, you like the old ways, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mean old-fashioned. I mean, you like the old ways.
Yes, and the old ways are the good ways. as my teacher would say, Robert Zoller, yeah, old ways are the good ways, and the earth is really flat. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, that's right. It was like, wow, when I heard that the first time in 2000, I was like, what? And that's why I could not get through the astronomy of the lessons, because I was still in denial, like no. But yeah, it's quite funny. Here's a little piece of William Lilly on the planets and void of course. You should not do any business during a void of course. So that's yeah. And that's Maria Thun, the gardening with the moon. Also like the biological dynamic way of gardening. And yeah, this calendar is very handy for that. Yeah, no, I'm in that way definitely traditional. And yeah, I like I like all the modern concepts as well, but I don't take them as much serious as the tradition. If you really want to know what is going on, just take the outer planets out and look at what it is. The system by itself is already very quite intense. Yeah, I haven't really prepared on this, so I'm just let me see, basic astrology. I like this picture very much because it somehow shows the mechanics of the planets, and then you have all the different placements that there are connected to, and the aspects that they make the distances they make with each other. Picture. Yeah, and,
I actually like astrology. For me, it helped me find out who I was. I think my birth chart was a lot about returns. You know, like they come every so many years. It's otherwise then you do backing up there. Obviously, the rising sign, that's the point you're born. Yeah. Then you've got the moon sign, your relationship sign, and your sex sign. I like knowing those because that tells you what kind of person you are.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I know there's 12 of them. That's 4 of them, isn't it? I like looking at 4 of them. I'm not an astrologer like you, so.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, you know, and you can find everything in it. You will find everything in it.
Well, I think my birth chart's so me because I'm a Gemini, so I'm a talker. I have my rising sign is in Libra, and I like harmony and balance. I really like my life in balance. And then I've got moon in Pisces, which a lot of astrology beforehand when I've done readings, they've just gone poor you.
Yeah.
Because obviously it picks up on everybody else's feelings, and I'm an empath anyway, so.
Yeah, it's an in and outward going energy. Eh? So that is the water, the mutable water time. So
also, I'm an air sign. I'm very much in my head anyway, and all things flow. A lot of people aren't. They're very fixed and they have very low energy. So I'm sure you feel that people can come in and their energy is so low. Well, my energy is up in my head. It's high.
Yeah.
And I'm quite a spiritual person, so I suppose it goes on. But a lot of people are very low vibed, and I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. You feel the energy, and
Also,
you're very much of an uplifting person. You uplift you like to keep the energy high. It's important.
Miriam,
Yeah.
I love you. I love you.
No, it's really nice to listen to your ideas as well, and you know there are so many preachers in the whole truth movement or flat
You know what that's
earth,
about, Miriam? Miriam, that's they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Even ministers in churches like that, they go, love everybody, but you don't feel that love in the church.
Exactly.
So
And
you've got to
also
feel it from that person, haven't you?
but you question things, you know. It's like what do you think about that? You know, like you want to know. It's not like it's like this and blah blah blah. It's like that, and there's
I do think though that your duty, one of the biggest duties you've got on this realm that we live in, is that you know who you are as a person, and most people don't know who they are. I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm saying a lot of people don't know who they are, and they're afraid to go and have a look. And it means going in there and going back in time and facing all these things and all these memories and going back as far as you can. I got back to about 2.5, where basically I want to obviously I actually remember it. I wanted to move the milk bottles, and my mum's going, don't do that, you'll drop them. Don't do that, you'll drop them. So, in the end, I dropped them. I dropped them in the end. Well, I would have done, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
But you need to know who you are, so you're not afraid of yourself. And once you know who you are, then you can go out and help other people, like you do your astrology for other people. I do my hangouts and people talking for other people.
Yeah.
So
No, I think it is very important, you know, and we have been deprived of it. I think astrology should go back into schools again, because it's especially not for young children, but when you have your Jupiter return, that is when you're about 13,
that's
between
it.
12 and
It might be
14.
those ones, because those are where you can get
Yeah.
rid of all your, you can shed some of this stuff if you've understood what it
Oh,
is. You don't have to take it with you.
it will help so many children, you know, because it is when you become when you get into puberty, it's when you want to know.
But
And
you know, don't you? They haven't set here up to help people.
no, and the first thing is what they ask you from, what do you want to become, or who do you want to be? It's like, who do you want to be? You know, what do you want to become? First, you want to know, who am I? And what is it that I want to do? You know, and want to, not who do I want to be, as if you want to be somebody else. And I find it such a strange concept. And yeah, we've been really completely deprived of this knowledge. Yeah, the idiotic nonsense in magazines and newspapers with that makes it even more ridiculous that people don't even want to know about. But I think there's a new movement, a new, how would you say that? It has gone, it has gained new momentum, actually, the astrology, especially through the traditional ways. But I think that Indian astrologers, or people that study Indian
I
astrology
also
and
quite like
practice,
the Vedic side of things as well. That is Indians. That's the
yeah,
Indians
but
with the dots on their heads. That I
Indian
quite
Indian astrology is not Vedic.
right. It says Vedic on my
Yeah,
book.
it's what they say, but it is not Vedic, because it is packed with Hellenistic concepts and later on Arabic concepts.
But
So
in there though, what they do is they do 3 signs for each astrology sign. So you've got like Ronnie goes from the end of May into June, and you've got Magrishka. Ronnie's a male snake, Magrishka's a female snake, and then Ardra is a female dog. But I'm a female snake, and it is so me. You upset me, whoosh, out comes my tongue. I will tell you.
oh, it sounds great. Yeah,
It's a
no,
good
I
book.
don't know much about the Indian astrology. I know the Fideria that is also being used in the
I actually
uh,
think for women,
alt.
it's better if you pick up a sign that's female. You know, like Ardra is a female dog. So anybody born at the end of July into, I'm sorry, end of June into July, will be a female dog. It's better for women if you find a female one, because the female version, even though it's just in the sign, they're more female with you, and we're females. You know, you don't want a dog, do you? You want someone who understands you. So the male ones, they don't care the same. I'm not being horrible,
Right.
they're male or female. But do you understand what I mean? But I actually think it's better when a girl meets someone and I look up the sign in there and I think, oh, they're a female. Great, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
If you
Oh, all
understand what
right.
I mean.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Well, no, you
Yeah,
haven't
no,
looked at that book. It's a
yeah,
book
no.
anyway. But
I don't know
mm.
the Indian astrology, but yeah, I hope it was.
People are afraid of it. You know, like I do. I've got loads of tarot decks here. In the past, I've done many tarot decks. People don't
Mm,
understand. It can only give you what's happening now. And one of the cards, it's the Hermit. It's the courage to change what you can, to accept what you cannot, and wait in silence until you can tell the difference. What's frightening about that?
yeah, no, exactly. Or go within. Go look, put that light inside you, and check out
Well,
yourself.
with the Hermit, we're
Yeah,
always fighting time. So the thing is, you can't fight time because that's what happens. We can't change time. We have to go with it. But I just think I don't understand why people are afraid. There's nothing horrible or whatever about tarot, and you know you could do one a few hours later or the next day because it's only in that moment. It tells you
yeah.
what's happening now.
Oh, I love tarot.
Me too.
It's an excellent tool to help yeah, to help you transform as well, and to to see things in a different way, and it's a very helpful tool. I love it.
I'm a bit out of kilter with it now. I used to do it a lot, and people used to come round, and I used to look at the cards and thrash it out of them.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the same now, and I'm not a goddess like you, Miriam.
Oh, well, I think we both are priestesses. Let's keep it that way. We all are.
Oh, it's great that you come to my channel, and I do really appreciate it. You also have a really nice vibe, and you're very wise. So I
Thank
like
you. I do
I
my
like
best. Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything else you want to say? We've been going for an hour now.
Yeah, no, I think this is, I think it's quite a lot of information. Again, different information every time, a little bit more or different.
But it's good that people know who you are as well, because obviously you gave the hangout, you told us the information, but it's good that people like to know who you are a little bit. That's good as well, like, because we all have personalities. You know, a lot of people don't realize we're real people.
Yes,
And
definitely.
I'm really lucky. Mostly people come to me for the hangouts, so I'm really lucky.
Yeah, and now you have a great crew coming on your hangouts. It's lovely. It's good to
It
hear.
was a little bit annoying. I actually did a hangout with Trouble and Amy, and for some reason I only uploaded 2 seconds. That was it. I don't know,
Oh,
and I deleted the hangout because I didn't realize I hadn't updated it, so hadn't uploaded it. So it came on and it went on for 2 seconds. But
oh,
we were only yabbering, and I just decided, hey, you're talking, I'm going to take this.
oh, nice.
It would have been quite nice because Trouble takes a lot of photography, and she was filming this thunderstorm, which actually has 8,000 views, which is pretty good. So
Wow.
we were talking while her thunderstorm was going on in the background. I might have to film it again. Most amazing thunderstorm.
Oh, that
But you
sounds
know,
fantastic. Yeah.
and then someone put in the comments the other day, because we did used to have ladies' night. I'm thinking the channel's full of women. Amy and Gillian are there all the time. You're here today, so we are full of women. But
Yes.
I like looking at lots of it. I don't just want to do one thing. I like the fact that you're here. You know, like we talked to the Devil's Playground the other day, and his assumption. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't. I will have a look at it.
I think you should watch that hangout. You'd really
Yeah,
like it.
I will do that.
I'm not going to say anything about it. I'll just hear, like, hopefully you'll watch it and you'll say, I really like that, or I understand what he's talking about. But I like the different things coming. I like the fact that you know, me and Amy and Gillian have a bit of a natter or whatever. I like the different things. I don't think we should stick on one thing. But I really appreciate you coming and doing this hangout, because I think people need to know and understand more about astrology.
Well, and I really appreciate you having me on, because it is really, yeah, it's a very important information, I think, that it goes out.
Miriam, I've been waiting for you.
Oh,
because your computer broke down, didn't it?
yes, it did. I was really struggling for a long time, for months with my computer.
But I also like it because you're such a wise person. I'm sure anybody listening into this hangout can hear how wise you are.
Well, it doesn't come just easy, huh?
I'm a bit more of a hothead, I am.
Well, I've also, I'm still making mistakes, of course. You know, my life is also not easy, but yeah, it comes with daring, you know, daring. And I've left Europe before it became the EU. I remember in early 90s, we were all very much against that. And then they pushed it through. So I packed up my 4 children and moved to India. And, you know, it's not easy to make decisions for people, you know. Your children are people, you know, they're persons.
Well, we're only big children as well.
Yeah, and you know, you go with what you think is right, and yeah,
Also,
you make mistakes, and that is the only way to grow.
It's also good talking to you, because you're the other side. You know, you're across the river. You're in another country, the sea.
Yeah. Yeah, we have such a pathetic situation now everywhere in the world. It's just total nightmare with this lockdown and idiotic ideas. Oh, I don't know what to think about it. Yeah, it's very difficult to actually see where is it that we are going with this. What is the plan behind it? And as I said before already, I think that all politicians and people in power, they totally lost the plot. They have no idea what they're doing.
I think that's the point. I think once you wake up and see things differently, you realise how demonic they are.
Yeah, they're completely lost, totally lost.
And also we can see right through their dirty little schemes.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no, I've always seen it, and yeah, that's done on a personal note. I was kicked out of school in 1972. I was quite young. I was at a school where we had art classes, and then suddenly the subsidy was closed down for all the art classes. All the art classes were scrapped, and we got a new subject, and that was economy. I was very good at maths, and it was only the maths teacher that tried to keep me at school. But I gave a lecture to the economy teacher in the hallway. I had the whole school around me, and I was not going to be part of that. I told him the whole story of the whole banking scheme, the pyramid system. I was 13. I knew exactly how the whole system was put together. So they kicked me out of school because I was a danger for the other students.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
and here you are, a wise lady now.
I think I was spared the hardship of getting rid of all the indoctrination of school.
When we talk to each other though, Miriam, we're very close on what we want out of life, aren't we? Like whenever we talk, you always go, yes, I know. We just understand.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, no, it's important. You can build on that, and I have no time anymore for people that don't get it. I try, but oh man, it's so tiring. If you don't get it now, then
yeah,
you're lost.
never will.
Sorry, yeah.
Mm.
And it's hard.
I put it out the other day as what were they? They were freedom fighters. But Ashita, she's in her 30s, and she said, "We're not here to wake anybody else up now. We have to move on and do something about where we are." And she's in her 30s.
Yeah, no, the younger you are, the further you are already in evolution, if there's such a thing as evolution. The words of Kahil Gibran of the prophet, I don't know if you know that, when a woman came to him and says, speak to us about children, and he says, your children are not your children, they are lives longing for tomorrow. I don't know the words out of my head, but that is so beautiful.
I've got a saying for you: today is your tomorrow, and you're only worrying about yesterday.
Yeah, no, you got to live now. This is the moment, and that's already gone. Now it's the moment. Yeah.
I did notice something the other day. Gillian was talking, and she said about how HARP, the sky was like a brain, and they're messing around with HARP up there, and of course it affects people's moods and everything. So I'm pretty sure they're doing stuff like that with HARP on purpose, mess around with our brains.
Oh, I think so too. And also with these, now there are not so many chemtrails, but I noticed it is very difficult to connect with. I feel that difficult to connect with your higher self, or with the angels, or with the higher vibrations. It's like there's so much disturbance in the air, like space war. Yes, there is space war, because space is the space between Earth and the moon. That is the space, and they've polluted it.
Yeah, and they don't care.
No, just completely fucking it up. But I also think that
You know what? Do you know what? I reckon I've said lately that I reckon we live in purgatory. This is some kind of purgatory for everything that's happening to us. You know, we're
What's
spiritual beings. We're spiritual beings, and we should be connecting spiritually. But how many people do you meet that are spiritual?
Yeah.
Not
Well,
that
they're
many.
there. The beautiful thing is through the internet we are connecting with people. We find each other, even on the other side of the plane. You know, we do find each other. So that is
Well, that's great, and I love that,
yeah,
and that's why we're here having this hangout. But you know, I'd like to come around and have a cup of coffee with you. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the difficult thing. That's not really possible. If I look around in my neighborhoods, you know, I always talk to people in any shop, you know, I always try to tell people what is going on. And a lot of people get it. And that's good. Quite a lot of people around in my
Can I
neighborhood
ask you
are also
something? Maybe
understanding the
you know
urge
about.
that.
Maybe you know about this. This is so just changing the subject just a little bit because there is a lot to take on with what you said. But when I look up Tartaria, in the olden days, Holland was the place that had the money.
Yeah,
So what happened? And the big buildings.
it still is.
You had a really sophisticated society.
Yeah, it still is. It still is. Holland is a small country, but it has an incredible influence, and it's sick. It's sick. It's yeah.
One other thing, I never until maybe this last year realised, because you know, if you ask people here, what's a windmill? What does a windmill do? Everybody will say it crushes grain, which it does do. But they weren't. They were for extracting water.
Yeah, yeah.
And I read that like a third of Holland has been brought back due to windmills extracting the water.
Yeah, no, it is fascinating. If you look at the construction of these windmills as well, how they're built, it's fascinating. The whole
Imagine they made those
intricate
in about the 15,
mechanism.
1600s, didn't
Yeah,
they?
but I think they are much older. I think it is a system that is so old.
And do you know what else I noticed? Because it was on my round of windmills. I noticed that I saw this sort of like it had a book of all the windmills in England, and most of them were around Brighton.
Right.
And
Okay.
Brighton, we must have been flooded then, but they never told us, and they were trying to obviously get rid of the water because there were so many there. And then Brighton's just most amazing place. We've got like a mosque palace. It was the first aquarium. It had an Eden project. It had this electric train in the sea. It's like, wow, like Brighton's just, I grew up there. I didn't know all this.
Amazing.
But anyway, that's a different subject. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's what I've done.
amazing. Yeah. And also like Amsterdam is also like the star fort. Yeah, and also the whole history of Amsterdam is not correct. It's not the way it was.
Well, it wouldn't be, would it? Because actually, well, you went to America and it was changed from New Amsterdam to New York. So they're hiding up this power that you had.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, no, it's also when I don't know, the whole history. It is so different from
So
what we've learned.
basically, it happened before that. Obviously, America was going before, and they're lying about that. But when it came to this pivotal time, it was actually Amsterdam that got the Dutch got there first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the Dutch weren't so nice. I believe were also the Dutch who invented the scalping because it was easier because they would get yeah, it's like really sick. Ugh. Yeah, but also like
No, that
plundering
one's
everywhere.
not.
No, exactly. I think the Dutch is like the original pirates somehow, you know, like really
Well, we've learned
always
about
out to
Barbary
sea
ships
fighting.
now. We've learned about Barbary ships, you know, like while we're conquering the world, the Barbary ships are conquering us. And then supposedly they had they did they
Oh,
independence.
you're falling away? I didn't hear you.
In America.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. So I was talking about Barbary ships. You know, we're conquering the world, you know, India and the rest of the countries. But they had an agreement with anybody before Independence Day that they would not take the passengers. But you had all these Barbary ships. I thought we were conquering the world, but how could they be? The Ottoman Empire doesn't fit in with Taria. None of it works. None of it fits in. None of it
Yeah.
works because they're lying.
Yeah, the whole history is a complete farce. It's completely different. But I think we can keep on talking about that, and we don't know. I've put some stuff together. I will make a little documentary on my ideas about that as well. Would be nice. I think let's get together again soon.
Oh, please, yes, I'd love to. Do you want to end the hangout now, Miriam? It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you
do that.
so much for your time.
All right. It was an
And
absolute pleasure again as well.
thank you for doing all that work for everybody as well, to understand.
Yes, and please put questions. I'll try to explain them as simple as possible.
Oh, what a lovely lady you are.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity to explain this confusion about the tropical and the sidereal zodiac.
Oh, no, I love having hangouts with you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Anyway, to Miriam, mwah, and
all right,
to
Karen.
chat room, mwah. Thank you, everybody.
All right.